WWE loves to control its own narrative. The showcase of the immortals, the grandest stage of them all. But what about the times when WrestleMania became a showcase of embarrassment? The moments so awkward or controversial that WWE wishes they never happened? Like a magician hiding the evidence of a failed trick, WWE has been quietly erasing certain WrestleMania disasters from their official history. From missed cues that expose the business to championship victories they refuse to acknowledge, we're counting down 10 such moments. Despite being broadcast to millions, you won't find these in WWE's carefully curated retrospectives. Ready to peek behind the curtain? But first, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Papa Shango's missed cue exposes the business. All right, let's step back to 1992, WrestleMania 8 at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. The main event had a special electricity in the air as the immortal Hulk Hogan faced off against Sid Justice. This was billed as Hogan's retirement match, and WWE had carefully orchestrated how it would play out, including a planned interference to protect Hogan's legendary finisher. The script called for Hogan's famous leg drop on Sid, followed by Papa Shango breaking up the pin to cause a disqualification. Instead, like a missed entrance in a Broadway production, Papa Shango was nowhere to be found when his cue came. Sid, trapped in wrestling's ultimate no-win scenario, made the split-second decision to kick out of Hogan's finisher, something virtually unheard of at the time. Charles Wright, who portrayed Shango, later admitted he missed his backstage cue. By the time he realized and raced to the ring, the sacred finisher had been compromised, accidentally exposing wrestling's predetermined nature. In WWE's carefully curated history, this embarrassing botch vanished. Modern Hogan highlight packages bypass this sequence entirely, preserving the company's narrative that the Hulkster's finishing move was invincible. Kurt Angle's disappointing final match. Speaking of erasing history, WWE has been working overtime to memory hole Kurt Angle's final match at WrestleMania 35, and for good reason. After announcing his retirement tour in early 2019, fans expected the Olympic gold medalist to receive a send-off worthy of his legendary status. Instead, they got Baron Corbin. Yes, that Baron Corbin. Not John Cena, Angle's first WWE opponent. Not Undertaker. Not even a rising star who could have benefited from the rub. The MetLife Stadium crowd visibly deflated as the match unfolded with all the excitement of watching paint dry. What should have been an emotional farewell devolved into a forgettable mid-card bout, ending with Angle tapping to his own finisher. Angle himself later admitted on his podcast, "I wanted it to be John," revealing his desire for a full-circle moment that would have created something meaningful for his final chapter. Since then, WWE has done what it does best with embarrassing moments. They've simply pretended it barely happened. When celebrating Angle's career in video packages, they focus on his early 2000s run, iconic matches with Lesnar, and comedic moments, while his final match remains that awkward family photo nobody displays. The botched finish that tarnished history. While Kurt Angle was limping into retirement, something even more historic was unfolding on the same night. For the first time ever, women took center stage in WrestleMania's main event. After years of evolving from quick sideshows to legitimate athletic showcases, women's wrestling reached its apex with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey battling in a winner-takes-all triple threat match that represented the pinnacle of WWE's women's revolution. But when the referee counted to 3 after Lynch pinned Rousey, the moment unraveled like a technical glitch during a Broadway finale. Replay footage revealed what millions of fans immediately spotted. Rousey's shoulders weren't flat on the mat during the count, tainting what should have been women's wrestling's crowning achievement. The controversy intensified when Lynch herself questioned in her autobiography whether Rousey had intentionally lifted her shoulder, suggesting the botched finish might have been deliberate. Was this Rousey's way of protecting herself in defeat? The question lingers unanswered. Since that night, WWE's editors have meticulously crafted highlight packages using camera angles that obscure the flawed pin, digitally manufacturing the clean victory that never actually happened. But first, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Stone Cold's alliance with the devil. While WWE's editors are masters at hiding botched pins, they've got an even bigger historical moment they prefer to downplay. WrestleMania 10-7 was the absolute peak of wrestling's hottest era, with 67,000 fans packed into Houston's Astrodome, witnessing what many consider the greatest WrestleMania ever. The main event featured Stone Cold Steve Austin challenging The Rock for the WWE Championship in a dream match that promised to define an era. What happened next shocked the wrestling world to its core. After a brutal, epic battle, Austin committed the ultimate betrayal, aligning with his arch-nemesis Vince McMahon in a satanic twist to his heroic journey, selling his soul to win the title. The beer-drinking, middle-finger-raising anti-hero who built his career on defying authority was now embracing the devil himself. The fallout was immediate and devastating. The Rock departed for Hollywood, leaving a massive babyface void. Triple H joined Austin and McMahon to form the two-man power trip, creating a heel-heavy landscape with few credible heroes remaining. This moment directly triggered declining ratings, and Austin himself later admitted it was a massive mistake, a confession WWE's corporate memory has largely scrubbed from its celebratory history reels. 6 seconds of Wyatt family destruction. After The Rock's Hollywood success, you'd think WWE would know how to properly showcase him during his rare appearances. But at WrestleMania 32, they managed to turn what should have been a momentous occasion into an embarrassment that diminished an entire faction's reputation in seconds flat. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas witnessed 101,763 fans as The Rock made his entrance. When the arena suddenly went dark and the Wyatt family's eerie music hit, the crowd erupted as Bray led his cult-like group to the ring, creating an atmosphere of genuine menace. What followed defies logical booking. The Rock challenged Eric Rowan to an impromptu match. 6 seconds and one rock bottom later, Rowan was pinned in the shortest match in WrestleMania history. The moment felt like an abrupt commercial disrupting an epic saga, leaving fans bewildered. The Wyatt family, previously established as a dominant and threatening force through months of character building, instantly lost all credibility. This group of intimidating outsiders became merely a punchline for a part-timer's highlight reel. The damage was so severe that WWE has quietly tried to erase this moment, omitting it from Rock retrospectives and WrestleMania record books. Santina Marella, the mockery of women's wrestling. If you think erasing the Wyatt family from history was disrespectful, WWE's treatment of their entire women's division at WrestleMania 25 will leave you speechless. In what was supposedly planned as a celebration of women's wrestling, WWE managed to deliver perhaps the most tone-deaf booking decision in the company's history. The 25 Diva Battle Royal was marketed as a showcase for women's talent, bringing together current stars and legends from the past. But just when fans thought WWE might finally take women's wrestling seriously, the company pulled the rug out from under everyone. The winner? Santina Marella. Literally just Santino Marella wearing a dress and wig. This was a slap in the face to the women's division. Female wrestlers were struggling for legitimacy in an industry that treated them as secondary attractions. Instead of using WrestleMania to elevate these performers, WWE reduced them to background characters in a man's joke. Fans were outraged, with many calling it the death of women's wrestling credibility on forums and early social media. WWE has carefully scrubbed this moment from their current women's evolution narrative. When producing documentaries celebrating their progressive approach, this battle royal mysteriously disappears, allowing WWE to pretend they've always valued their female talent. Playboy matches WWE's sexist past. While Santina Marella's victory might seem outrageous, it's just a small symptom of WWE's much larger problem with women's wrestling. Throughout the Attitude Era and into the 2000s, WWE wasn't showcasing female athletic talent. They were parading them around in as little clothing as possible. The company's biggest show of the year featured women primarily in evening gown matches, Playboy Bunny Mania contests, and catfights. For nearly a decade, WrestleMania appearances for women wrestlers meant taking clothes off rather than demonstrating wrestling skill. These objectifying spectacles were frequently the only opportunity women had to appear on the show at all, with a staggering 7 consecutive WrestleManias featuring bikini contests or similar segments as the sole women's representation. These matches now exist as embarrassing relics of a bygone era, like dusty artifacts WWE has locked away in their corporate vault. What's particularly fascinating is how WWE handles this uncomfortable legacy today. The company now produces documentaries celebrating their women's evolution while omitting any footage of these exploitative matches. Their highlight reels skip from Miss Elizabeth's classic moments straight to Trish Stratus versus Mickie James, creating a sanitized timeline that erases years of exploitation while rewriting their own history. The Undertaker's disturbing hanging. From exploiting women to simulating murder, the Attitude Era pushed boundaries in ways that make modern WWE executives cringe. Remember when The Undertaker actually hung Big Boss Man from the Hell in a Cell structure with a noose? It's the WrestleMania moment so dark that WWE pretends it never happened. At WrestleMania 15, The Undertaker and Big Boss Man squared off in what wrestling historians now consider one of the worst Hell in a Cell matches ever. The plotting contest failed to deliver the expected violence, but what happened after the bell shocked everyone. With help from his Ministry of Darkness, The Undertaker tied a noose around Big Boss Man's neck and hoisted him up, leaving him dangling from the cell's roof. The audience sat in uncomfortable silence. Even in the anything goes Attitude Era, simulated hanging crossed a line, transforming entertainment into something stark and disturbing. The visual of Boss Man swinging from the rafters was genuinely unsettling. Today, 2 decades later, with WWE's family-friendly image and valuable sponsor relationships, this content is unthinkable. That's why you won't find this match in any Undertaker career highlights, WrestleMania retrospectives, or network collections. It's been completely scrubbed from WWE's carefully curated history. Gable Stevensons' failed launch. Olympic gold medals don't buy you wrestling success, as WWE painfully discovered with their Gable Stevenson experiment. When Stephanie McMahon personally introduced Stevenson at WrestleMania 38, you could practically see dollar signs in WWE executives' eyes. Here was their next Kurt Angle, an Olympic hero with legitimate athletic credentials who could give the company mainstream sports credibility. The red carpet treatment included having him celebrate with fan-favorite tag teams after laying out Chad Gable in a carefully choreographed moment. But WWE's Golden Boy came with baggage. Sexual assault allegations from 2019 resurfaced immediately, casting a dark shadow over his career. Though the case had been dismissed due to lack of evidence and legal technicalities regarding intoxication laws, social media erupted with every appearance. Hashtags exposing his past trended whenever he appeared on screen, creating a digital storm WWE couldn't control. As the backlash intensified, WWE quickly relegated their prize prospect to developmental brand NXT. There, his debut match received brutal criticism from fans and reviewers alike. The Olympic hero transformed into damaged goods practically overnight. Within months, the wrestler once positioned as the cornerstone of WWE's future was completely released from his contract, a meteoric fall from grace. The celebration WWE can never acknowledge. Unlike Stevenson, who simply disappeared from WWE programming, some wrestlers leave behind legacies so complicated that the company must completely rewrite its own history. In 2004, WrestleMania 20 concluded with an image that instantly became iconic. 2 undersized wrestlers who had defied the odds, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, embracing in the ring as world champions, tears streaming down their faces as confetti rained from the rafters. It was wrestling's perfect feel-good moment, until it wasn't. This celebration transformed into something WWE actively avoids acknowledging. Eddie Guerrero's sudden death from heart failure in 2005 cast the first shadow over the memory. Then came the June 2007 tragedy when Benoit murdered his family before taking his own life, the darkest chapter in wrestling history. WWE responded with complete erasure. In documentaries about Guerrero, the WrestleMania 20 moment might be mentioned, but footage carefully minimizes Benoit's presence. WWE faces an impossible ethical dilemma, preserving their history while responsibly handling one of its most significant moments, featuring someone who committed such heinous acts. Wrestling historian Dave Meltzer noted, WWE effectively removed an entire championship reign from their visual archives. When the lights go down and the cameras stop rolling, WWE becomes just another entertainment company crafting its own mythology. Like Disney burying Song of the South or Hollywood pretending certain box office bombs never happened, WWE carefully curates which parts of its past deserve celebration. Wrestling's uniqueness lies in its fans' historical dedication. While WWE sanitizes uncomfortable truths from their documentaries, the wrestling community preserves every controversy through digital archives and independent media. In this clash between corporate narrative and historical truth, passionate fans maintain wrestling's complete ledger, an indelible record that survives despite WWE's selective memory. The official history books may be edited, but wrestling's true story endures through those who refuse to forget. But first, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments.